We'll put the bot lane fries in the bag, so to speak, and see if that nets us something. Now, Ashe is open, just as a quick note. Not a pick that we see get let through recently, but it's going to be the Rise for Care and the Lucian down on the bot side for about. So we've just, turned the teams onto the other sides, and we've got a normal draft that we'd expect, but Care going to be taking the Rise here. WE taking the Lucian and the Milio, so we'll see if WE can find something with a little bit of mid-game strength still to go with, or if it's going to be NIP who are looking to play this outranging style of composition as the Kog'Maw Lulu gets locked in. We have gone absolutely bananas.
So a couple things to note about this bot lane. About hasn't played much Lucian this split, 0-3 on it, but it is one of his most played AD carries of all time, so certainly something he's familiar with. I have to say, though, playing against this Kog'Maw Lulu is going to be a pain. Kog'Maw, when you just have that Bio Arcane Barrage for the extra auto attack range, you just outrange Lucian so hard, you do that extra damage. Sure, Milio can heal you up a little bit and not make as much of it stick, but it's still going to be a problem that you're going to have to deal with in the lane.
This is a really good answer from NIP, and I'm a fan of it. The Lulu probably scales a little bit better than the Milio.
Yeah.
The only thing that NIP need to do here is not lock Lilia, and they'll be fine. As long as they don't go for that big sort of heavy hitting CC that gives Milio ulti an insane amount of value. I think that they're onto a winner here, are the Ninjas. That matchup in the mid lane could be Twisted Fate, could also obviously be Twisted Fate in the top side. I do think if that's the case, that there's definitely a world where Hoya's able to bust out something a little bit crazy. And I think that's something that I've missed from this series so far, is a YOLO Hoya pick, which is something that I'm still after. Now, the Yorick has been banned away. Typically denotes that you're going for one of those ranged top laners, typically the Jace. That's banned away, so is the Varus, so I'm curious about what it is that NIP are chefing up here.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure this is the game for it. I think just sticking Hoya on...
No, this is absolutely the game for it.
Really? I don't agree, because I think
in a thematic
sense, protect the Kog'Maw, right? You just kind of give yourself resources. You can go slam a Scion or something like that and call it a day, right? Like, I think Scion. I think that's the move that you should make here. Pantheon going to come through for Monki. This is a champion that we have seen him struggle on a lot. So we're going to really need to see a deviation from this young player and have him really step up in a game to try and salvage the season, get a second win for yourself, and feel real good going into play-ins.
Yeah, I really like Neferi here as well. Has a very good time of things, dodging away from both Pantheon and Twisted Fate W's as the Shen gets locked in immediately by Cube. So looking to maybe do a little bit of dueling with the Scion on that top side. Obviously the Shen passive being able to pull the dagger through the Scion, giving you a bit of bonus damage there, as well as acting as a bit of support. But this WE composition, Yanni, I'm going to be honest, it has no damage. I'm looking at this and I'm looking for damage like...
doesn't matter.
Lucian, maybe.
Doesn't matter. We're trying to win the game by 25 minutes. We have triple globals. We are ulting on our TF. We're ulting on our Pantheon. Our Lucian is going to take over the mid game. And if for some reason we twist our ankle out of the gate, you may as well just cut the whole damn leg off at that point because you ain't winning the game.
Yeah, it is a very similar composition to the one that they drafted in game 2. If WE end up in the same position where they are ahead or where they are behind and still find a win, I don't know what to do with NIP at that stage.
Throw the whole NIP out.
Yes, agreed. I mean, this, like you say, this is win early or don't win for WE, which was the same conditions as game 2, but they won anyway. So all bets are off. And I don't know, WE, if they can find an early game lead, they need to snowball it. Absolutely, they can win this game. If they don't do that, they're going to struggle.
And for NIP, it's just don't lose, man. Like, you've got a lot of this early power out of an Neferi in the jungle. You got to rise for your mid to late game, and then, of course, your Kog'Maw. The final match of the day. A full slate starts now.
We're invading as well.
goodness. When was the last time you saw all 5 members show up for an invade? Uh-oh, they have no idea. Monkey, no, Monkey, watch out. Oh, there's a big stun coming out. Monkey gonna use his shields to try and mitigate whatever damage he possibly can. And it looks like, wait, we're flashing after him? We've landed a second knockup, but we have no follow-up.
Okay. Summoner heal used as well here to get some extra damage down with that Bio-Arcane Barrage. And in fairness, this has netted Guwon a pretty decent start. He knows Monki started E as well.
Yeah, this is so massive. Like, you actually just, like, that play, that question that we had about, like, the Scion flash knockup was just actually there just to deal more damage to Monki. You're already behind in lane, like, whatever, man. Like, this is just an absolute chasm right now. Monki, it's a full court press. Guwon was gonna flash on top of him, forces the flash away, the Dark and Daggers, the dogs are barking. First blood for Guwon.
Win early or don't win at all, and you get first blooded in your own jungle here. WE are in the dirt already, and it's off of Guwon on this Neferi, making plays. The whole squad from NIP went into that bot side to make something happen. On the top side, Cube wasn't happy to sacrifice like Hoya was, and yeah, Hoya's down. But I don't think that a Shen gold lead is the thing that's going to turn this game on its head.
No, not in the slightest. Monki is now going to be able to farm his top side for the moment. Because look who's coming. Look who's lurking. Guwon's on the way. And there is no support here to help out Monki. He already knows where he's at. Blast cones over the wall. And Monki already in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to retreat from his jungle. He has nowhere to go.
Importantly, he does get the camp, though, which gives him level 2 and gives him, like, something to do. Now, Kare's going to block Monki off, make sure that they know.
This is not nice.
It's not, you're quite right. But I think he should be able to get this crab.
Sure, man. Listen, anything for Monki here is good, right? And luckily, About and Arha still have strength at this point in time, so Assum and Zhuo couldn't move over, but Guwon will pillage this top side as Monki looks to slide in to NIP's jungle, but Zhuo and Assum were already moving over.
This is the keep Monki down game more than anything. This is not play for your lanes, don't lose. This is make sure that Monki wants to ult F4 and never play again. So we'll see if the rest of the team can make that work. Root mid.
All right.
Animation wound up there for Care, so he just got in range, well timed by Karis to find the flash. Who, worth noting here, has gone for the unsealed spellbook, so has teleport as a base, but we'll be able to swap to, you know, your ghosts, your cleanses, your ignites as we move later on.
Gonna have a lot of value there. Now, the good news is, while Monki is behind, not all hope is lost because you really only care about him hitting level 6, and you're really putting everything on About here. Lots of damage coming down, but no kills to close out on.
Remember, folks, and I'm saying this importantly because it is time sensitive, it is win early or do not win at all for WE. They are on a clock. They are pressured by the late game scaling of a Kog'Maw, of a Rise, to do something now. WE have got a very small window where they are stronger as a composition, and currently they're sat down 600 gold from just the jungle alone. Guwon has been able to farm up an absolute storm, is yet to recall, and can maybe take this game home before it even begins.
Monki gonna have to make plays happen once he hits 6. That window got a lot smaller. It is not closed all the way, but it is certainly not in a great spot right now. And who knows, maybe, you know, when Karis hits level 6, he can be the first guy to make a play and link up with Cube or something like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, we put a band-aid on the problem for right now. It's not insurmountable. It is just in a precarious spot right now.
All about trying to get whatever leads you can. Monki still hasn't got the equivalent of a full clear yet, so he is fully on food stamps right now. Has just no money whatsoever to try and make things work. Cube forced to flash away on that top side as well. That's another one of those big playmaking tools. Shen Flash, one of the ways that you can get access to Assum here, who has gone for the cleanse as well. I think that's pretty important.
Dragon going to be started up here by the NIP jungler. Should be a fairly easy take here. Monki will take this moment to regain one camp, but it's not exactly what I would call an equivalent exchange, as Karis is going to go ward the Raptors of Monki. Monki going to try and make a flank play onto Karis here with Karis at about half HP. Karis takes a turret shot, but he's just playing a little bit too far away. Nothing Monki can do for the moment.
Karis spellbook swaps to the heal here, so maybe a little bit of baiting, a little bit of movement speed might be able to get him in range for a gold card as well here. Crab secure for Monki on the top side. It's in exchange for his Raptors now, so we'll see. Let's take a look. So I think this is the play to try and look at this mid lane.
About dashing forward, but he takes so much damage on the back end. Not able to do much more here. Comes Karen Guwon with the Realm Warp, about desperately trying to get back to his turret. He flashes away, but now Arha is caught all alone on an island. Just a level 5 Mega Inferno kick ain't gonna save you there, bud. It's gonna be Guwon picking up his second.
Just a little boy from Rosario this time can't make it work, and for Arha this is a little bit sad. He got bailed, or sort of got bailed into by his bot laner as about dashed forward, took an awful trade. Arha feels safe to stay under the turret in the 2v1, but the thing that drew Care and Assum, Care and Guwon down to that bot side in the first place was the low HP bar on the Lucian. So Arha fails or falls there in exchange for his carry taking a slightly rough trade, and for WE here, I think that this game is almost out of reach. And it feels bad to say 7.5 minutes in, especially after they took game number 2. But I have to continue with the ideals that this game has instilled into me. That this game is a win early or don't win at all for WE, and despite what we've seen from them previously, I can't see history repeating itself. Just
simply
can't.
put, dude. Simply put, you had 2 available globals, 1 global that you didn't have yet, and the first team to make a play was off of a semi-global. That is really not a spot that you want to be in, and Monki has now just found out that his entire top side is gone. He is level 6, so he is able to start making some of these plays if he wants, but they feel like very large risks right now. Grubs being done here by NIP. They've already taken the first. Zhuo and Assum had moved up. They moved Hoya down into the bottom side here, just for extra safety for Assum, because now you don't have to contend in a 2v2.
Nice round of combos from Care into the mid lane. But again, we shouldn't be seeing the game be playing out like this. We shouldn't be seeing these tactful trades from WE trying to scrape their way back into the game. We should be seeing them brute forcing their way onto whoever dares stand in their path. This is not the style that WE are going to be able to succeed with, and you know, Assum and Zhuo, they've moved their way up here. Not quite completed their role quest yet, but it's much easier for them to secure plates up against a Shen than it is up against this Kog'Maw, up against this Lucian and this Milio, rather.
Here comes a dive attempt. It's a little bit difficult to try and dive a Shen, though, so they're going to get the Darkened Daggers out, put a little bit of a bleed on him, just try to whittle this turret down with the triple grubs that you have.
Now, one of the good things about this composition is Spirit's Refuge, so... hold on, we have an ulti mid lane, let's go!
Down to the mid lane, but it doesn't have any effect. Karis could not get in range, and this is something that we've said about Monki. Just on this champion, does not seem to be very good.
I don't know what is stopping these plays from happening, though. The summoner heal is still there for Karis, so maybe you can, you know, spellbook, or you can use this heal to give you the movement speed to, at the very least, force Care's flash. Because I think in that case, like, you have to be expecting flash to be burned, as Zhuo is going to wait for Assum, who's going to not face check. Good, Living Artillery does spot out the 2-man band, and it's just another play thwarted by WE. Monki is spending so much time trying to find plays that Guwon is just like, alright, well, that's another camp that I'll take, and that's another camp that I'll take. My laners are good enough to just hold back and make sure they don't fall, so all of the things are going in the favour of NIP, and it doesn't really matter what WE are trying. All of it's sticking.
2 rotations on Karis in the mid lane, and he's almost dead. We've seen 1 Pantheon ultimate, 1 Grand Starfall do nothing. We have not seen a Stand United. We have not seen a Destiny yet. We are nearly 11 minutes into this game. About has no kill participation, doesn't even have a CS lead. This is when we said if you twist your ankle out of the gate, you may as well cut the leg off. Honestly, the leg was cut off. There was no ankle twist. Things just have not been able to happen for Team WE. Now NIP are going to look to put more pressure on. When you have 3 grubs, you can just throw your weight around.
That's all it takes. 1 set of minions goes under the turret. Guwon walks in. They find a couple of free autos. That's going to be really nice for them. It's Hoya here taking the benefits of what his bot lane were able to do up here. We'll be able to pick up the last few dregs of plating. Maybe try and take that first brick for himself as well. Monki now. A little cheeky invade. Be feeling good about that until he realises that he's lost the second dragon of the game. And has in fact been spotted.
Oh, he has. There's not too much you can do about it. Maybe he can go pick up this crab when it spawns, but congratulations, you've done a little bit of damage to Hoya. That's all. He's now going to head over to the chickens of NIP. With this second dragon going down, I'm sure NIP are more than happy with it. 12 minutes into the game, the pace has been great for NIP.
Yeah, first items coming through though for WE, and if there was ever a break point, it's about now. Essence Reaver picked up for about. Rod of Ages in the back pocket for Karis. I think once you've ended up with Monki's first item, that's when you can, or when you have to. It's not when you can, it's when you have to try to look for a play. Cube already has this Titanic, so he's actually doing pretty well in these trades versus Hoya. And you can see as soon as you pull the dagger through, you're actually able to do a decent amount of damage. You get a little bonus amount of attack speed and damage for bringing it through your opponent.
Okay, we have Destiny coming in here. Monkey's also getting shielded. Tried to use his ultimate, but he got rooted.
Ah, okay. Well, that's
Cube's all got cancelled too.
Yeah, he will have been knocked up by Hoya. That's all 3
Jesus.
ultis. That's all 3 ultis for Realm Warp. And now Guwon's on the hunt. Got his pack with him. Yeah, it's not good, Yanni, I'm going to be honest. It's difficult to try and frame this in a way that doesn't paint this picture of absolute despair for WE at this stage.
That's really disappointing. I'm going to be completely honest. You are a professional League of Legends team, right? You guys have played these champions before, and I understand, you know, you might not be excellent on some of them. I have never, in all of my years watching League since Season 2, seen a scenario where 3 globals get used and 2 of them get cancelled.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
We're diving the bot lane here. Hound's Pursuit gonna get you there. You just burst out about. RL's gonna go down next. The call of the pack means that Guwon is just fine. It is easy pickings for NIP here in Game 3.
They'll be able to take themselves some platings down on that bot side. Instead, they actually recall so that they can prolong the suffering of this WE bot lane, who I think relatively, who have been doing okay in this situation. You know, about is even enough with Assum in terms of those items. As look across, this is what we call the London build for Assum in the bot lane, where he's just got 4 daggers, and you know the Lucian is doing well enough, but is it really enough to carry this game? Almost definitely not.
Here we go. We're gonna make a play. We finally found Assum. Team WE get their first kill, but Assum killed about in that play. Meanwhile, down on the bottom side, Karis gets ignited up, and Karis is forced away. So even the good plays for WE do not come without cost.
Yes, we must recall that Kog'Maw has a passive. Despite it being probably the worst AD carry passive in the game, it does still exist, and About, for the 3rd time in as many games, dies with flash from an easily flashable spell. I'm going to lose it.
Crab going to be done here by NIP. Herald going to be started up as well. Monkey's got his ultimate. Karis has his ultimate. He's going to teleport bottom side, though, so he's not really going to be able to use it. We have a response TP coming out from Hoya. Much ado about nothing as Assum continues to go after About. Now Arl's going to be the next target. Destiny coming through. The
There we
turnaround
go.
is there, and they punish the overextension.
You see, what they were doing, Yanni, is they were luring NIP into a false sense of security. Okay?
It worked.
They were saying, look, all we do is we make them forget that we've got these globals. And then when we need to use them, they'll forget that they exist, and then we can click button.
Oh, I love that. That's some five-head thinking right there. Guess what? It worked out. The bad news is we're 16 minutes into this game, and the window where Team WE should be really strong, well, they're down 3,000 gold. Next Dragon going to be up in about a minute. This is NIP's sole point if they take it, and they've been so good on the timings of these Dragons as well, that if they take this one, you're looking at, what, a 23-minute soul, which would be insurmountable, especially the fact that it would be an Ocean Soul.
Yeah, this is a really do-or-die moment here for WE. I think that, you know, we've seen a good sequence be put together in the last sort of 2 to 3 minutes or so, where I think maybe 3 minutes is a bit over-exaggerative, but, you know, they found a couple of kills. They've got a little bit of gold back. Now, the majority of that has gone into, you know, Monki, Karis, who I think this game are not the people that we want to be putting the gold on. I want it to be on about and hope that he can take us over the line. So if they can't take this dragon, that really does create some problems for you. As you can see, Assum, he's just so happy to step up. Has the Rage Blade already in the inventory? Has been working towards presumably a Runans, maybe a Phantom Dancer actually, for a good long while here. And yep, second dragon already done. Third dragon going to be picked up by NIP for very little. Maybe even free.
You got 5 minutes. Here we go. Destiny coming down. Guwon dodges out on the gold cart. Bang! Knock him up. You get your shielding, sure, but Monki will go down all the same. Cube did get on into the backline, and Zhuo's in trouble. Meanwhile, Guwon going after Karis and flashing after him, gets him done. Care now, time to cook with this frontliner Hoya, helping him out. Shadow dash away, but the flash pursuit, triple knock up coming in from Hoya is the exclamation point and the dunk that was needed on this game. It's a quadra kill for Guwon, and NIP are up 5,000 gold.
Yep, and if you don't win early, you don't win at all. WE, they go for the fight after the dragon's already down, and unfortunately they are just too late. This is NIP surely sealing this series. Was it Zhuo that they spotted? Yeah, they wanted to catch Zhuo out. He's a little too far forward, but a flash buys the space alongside Nimbus Cloak. Stand United to actually buy time for Monki is good. It does give access to the Kog'Maw and the Lulu. That double taunt from Cube does a lot of work. Unfortunately, does not do nearly enough as Guwon all but pentas WE here in this bot side. The Neferi left completely unchecked. Triple knockup from Hoya. Absolutely
Beautiful.
Excellent. And, you know, we were asking, and you mentioned it in the draft, that this is a put the fries in the bag game for Hoya on that top side. He did exactly that in that fight. Sort of has to swallow his pride a little bit in the early stages. The Scion not too great versus Shen, but moving into these team fights really does make himself his own.
When you make a play like that in a game, you are happy no matter the results. Can I get a Hoya for that one? He has made his presence known. He slammed the door on Team WE, and now it's just up to NIP to finish this one off. Awesome. Once again, up a little bit too far here. This is how the comeback started for Team WE in Game 2. Keep that in mind.
It is. It is. And you do start to wonder if history will repeat itself. It's a quick note on Kog'Maw build here. This is 100% uptime W build for the Kog'Maw. So Flicker Blades means that your W will just always be up. So you go from being, you know, what is a relatively short-range marksman to being an obnoxiously long-ranged marksman at that. So if Assum stays alive, he should be able to keep space from the majority of people across this WE roster. Of course, if he ends up getting picked up, caught off, then that's not great, and he won't.
2 minutes, just about, until this Ocean Soul is up. Oh, no. Arha, no.
Hello.
Goodbye. Well, Hoya gets his first of the game. He deserved to get a kill on the stat sheet here, so just waiting for Care to get his first, and Zhuo as well. Baron is going to be started by NIP. this does not come without risk.
No,
there
it doesn't.
will be an opportunity for Team WE to do something here. Teleport's going to be coming in from Arshen. Karis is coming through as well. Baron's down to about 5,000 HP and still dropping. 3,000 and getting lower. Scion Ultimate splits the gap. Cube goes in. Monkey's still waiting to get in there. He's slowed up, but is front lining, and it is secured by the Cogmaul. About is the only man left standing, and he ain't standing for too much longer. Karis escapes miraculously, but NIP will not fumble the bag this time around. The Baron is theirs. They have numbers advantage, and they'll start pushing down mid.
And this time, Guwon ready with the Smite Fight, able to take that one away from Monki. They're going to be able to whittle their way through these turrets. The tier 2 falls like paper. The tier 3 now under siege. Also going to go down, NIP with the Baron at their backs. Surely game number 3 goes their way now.
It would take a major miracle. I mean, just look. It's a 92.2 to 7.8, and honestly, that's probably the most accurate I've ever seen that chart before. They're going to take their recalls 40 seconds until the soul is up. They're going to take that one and look to polish off this game.
Are you comfortable saying that you give WE an 8% chance to win this game?
No. I would give them less.
I would as well, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Would you give them 1%, or would you be below 1%?
I'd give them 1%. 99 out of 100 games, they lose this. 1 out of 100, you know, something crazy happens. And that one was game 2.
We don't live in the same world that we lived in game 2. 5 seconds until this is up. Karis does have his teleport available, as well as his destiny. It looks like we are not going to try and steal this dragon away. We don't really have a way in, but I feel like you just can't let this go for free. Just try something here.
I feel like they actually have many ways in, actually, given the nature of their composition. Yeah, that's it. That's better.
All right, there we go. Pantheon ultimate. Oh my god, stolen away! No way! Monkey steals it away from Guwon. Yeah. Well played, well played.
It's an incredibly low-stakes steal, because if he dies,
who cares?
So what? You know, like, what contribution does he have in the bot lane at this stage? He's throwing a couple of spears, and odds are they'd lose this inhibitor anyway. But now they've got 5 more minutes where they don't have to play against Ocean Soul.
Nice. I don't know if they're going to even have 5 more minutes to play the game, but we're going to find out real soon. Karis has recalled. It is a 5v4. Monki is up for 15 seconds. Guwon no longer has his ability to dodge out with the call of the pack, but the first turret is going to fall. Hoya flashes in. Knockup's abound and about. See you later, buddy. Cube is going to be targeted out next. His Spirit's Refuge will fall. Monkey gets on top of Assum, but it really is not going to matter all that much in the end when you're winning a fight on every single front. NIP take care of business here in Game 3. They improved to 7-7. They locked themselves for the 5th spot in Group Ascend, and they'll have a date with EDG next week.
Well done to NIP. A clean series, no problems, no stress. Exactly as anticipated going into the day. And these two teams will come away with the result that we expected. Now, did we have to get put through the ringer to find it? Absolutely. This was one of the most entertaining series that we've had, probably all regular split. And we've had some good series this split, so hats off to these two for making us work for it, and WE as well, hats off to them for making NIP work for it as well.
Yeah, and as far apart these two teams were in Game 3, I was thoroughly entertained by that early game. I mean, Guwon put on a clinic. There was a nice 5-man play, honestly, that was the reason why NIP were able to get that lead. Just everybody showing up and buying into the fact that, hey, let's go invade, let's put this guy behind, keep him off level 6 for a while, and I will run the game. I might be the dog, but I'm going to be walking Monkey.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is making sure that Monkey cannot get involved in a game, because when he did, you know, Game 2 happened, he was the supposedly the catalyst for making things happen. And now NIP with that find themselves with a good happy ending to this split.
No doubt about it. We have these play-in possibilities. We have reached the NIP portion of the play-in possibilities. My favorite part about this graphic is for the Team WE win one. They were still 1-12 because honestly, it's just irrelevant down there at that point. But 7-7 here for NIP. Again, as we said, even if they lost today, would be considered a split well done for the expectations that honestly everybody here had for this team. The fact that you're 7-7 when all's said and done, you're a game off top esports, you're a game off of JDG or AL, depending on how those series go. I mean, that's great company to be in. And, I would really like to see NIP go on a nice little playoff run here. Maybe go make an interesting series against one of these upper teams and, really have something they could build on for like split.
Yeah, and that's going to be really good to see, right? We're hoping that ends up coming through. Obviously, now eyes turn towards tomorrow's series, where we've got IG playing a very important series for themselves. 2-0 sees them leapfrog into 6th. 2-1 victory sees them with some weird tiebreakers that I've not ran the numbers on with Weibo.
It's so just the same as the earlier one, just the head-to-head that they're going to have.
Yeah.
Because they are 3-3 against each other, it would go based off of the how fast the game wins were for each side.
Yeah, against one another. So again, haven't run the numbers.
All that for 6 and 7, right?
Yeah. We're firing you after this. You've made way too many of those today.
Listen, unfortunately, listen. we're in a series that determines 5th, 6th, and 7th.
That's true. That is true. And we get to look at the stats. I mean, for NIP here, we do get to see sort of what one of their liabilities may be going through playoffs. As I was looking at the death columns, there was a total of 5 deaths. 4 of them were on Assum, so that's just something to maybe keep your eye out for as we move into a playoff / play-in stage that could be very important for these two sides.
No doubt about it. For Team WE, on the other hand, listen, I think they could still feel encouraged. I think that there's a lot for them to work on out of this game, and typically you don't get that in games like this where, it's just not close, right? But you get to work on your level 1 strategy, honestly. I think NIP really exposed a blind spot in Team WE's game in that Game 3 that they can now watch out for a future team to try to replicate and try to adjust on their own. I have a feeling that even though, yes, they are, 1 in 13 or whatever, I have a feeling that they will be just fine against the group Nirvana teams in the form that they're currently.
I think if they play like they did today, there's a world where they struggle. I think if they play like they've played up against some of our better teams, taking games off of AL, Weibo, etc., there's a world where they can succeed. I mean, I don't want to count the game that they won today necessarily, because I think that there were just so many pitfalls in it, but that they found the win earlier on anyway. Like they were in game 1, they should have won that one. So yeah, there are a lot of problems that I think riddle this team. A lot of problems that I think have riddled NIP so far, actually, because they should not have had to go to 3. Either way, as much as they did, like you say, it is going to be a pretty close run thing, and it'll be interesting to see what the two squads look like going into those play-in games.
For sure, and remember, the play-ins are going to be a little bit different than they were for Split 1. We had 2 rounds of Knights Rivals with 1 qualification match and then a very short losers bracket. Not so this time around. It is, you are playing against whoever you're matched up against. Team WE are drawing LNG. The loser of that is in Nirvana for the final split. Like, it just is what it is. So, unfortunately, we're either going to see Team WE, who really struggled hard this split, get sent down to Nirvana. But if LNG loses, now we have to start talking about, is the LNG experiment a failure if they lose, right? Like, they are staking their entire 2026 season for these guys on this. And I think it was already kind of a failure that they didn't make it into Split 2 when they fumbled the bag against the same Team WE from Split 1 to Split 2. Interested to see if history is going to repeat itself, Roodod, or if LNG is going to come in with a bigger chip on their shoulder this time around.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky situation for both of those organizations, right? WE, a team that has definitely been in a myriad of different positions in its time during the LPL. Most recently being on a little bit of a turn up, let's say, but for LNG, obviously, that there's just like such a massive gulf in what we've seen from them, where they had the Zika takes them to Worlds like a couple of years ago, And then now struggling, battling it out in Nirvana for sort of the last year or so. And then they build up this, what is objectively a really high-profile team that hasn't yet even made it to Group Ascend.
Well, with today's excitement over Roodod, let's go ahead and take a look at our updated standings here, as they are a big one. So NIP locked in for 5th. Weibo Gaming and IG can still have a position swap going on there. Team WE were in 8th for a very long time. Group Nirvana has finally settled up. EDG should be 12th. This was pulled off of prior information that was on the Leaguepedia, but has now been swapped. So LGD in 11th, EDG in 12th. This does mean that Thunder Talk and LGD are going to either play against Weibo Gaming or IG, but we've already locked in NIP and EDG and Team WE and LNG. I don't think NIP should have too much of a problem with EDG. This is a team that has been really inconsistent, and NIP has just been inconsistent but better because they've beaten some of the best teams in Group Ascend. I mean, people
NIP 2-0'd
really...
BLG, so as well. Yeah.
Yep. And, you know, they obviously lost the second series against BLG, but when you can 2-0 BLG in any scenario, it's great. I mean, you split with AL, you split with BLG, you split with JDG, you split with Top Esports. You can't ask for much more than that out of a 5th seed. You feel really good.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, like, we got to see some of their inconsistencies throughout the split. Like, the Ninjas started out the split with low expectations. We then got to the middle of the split and thought, wow, are these guys going to contend in playoffs? And I think now we've reached the expectation, which from the start of the split, they're going to be happy with, right? Like, if we said to the NIP at the start of this split, hey, you're probably going to be able to finish top 5, top 6. You'll probably win a round in playoffs, but you're going to get dogged on by the top 4, and that's not changed. I think they'll be happy with that, and then, you know, sort of saying, okay, I don't think we're expecting to be a top 4 team by any means. If they can take games off of IG and Weibo, I think they'll be taking that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, would be really happy to see that. And, you know, I have to say, you know, it's always tough feeling really good for a team, because that conversely, there is a team that is on the short end of the stick. I was really happy with Thunder Talk's performance today, and the fact that Thunder Talk are going to be staying in Group Nirvana, because there was always a chance that maybe, just maybe, you know, Ultra Prime was going to leapfrog them, and Thunder Talk were going to be in the bottom 2. So a big matchup today, and you know, I really like their solo laners a lot. I think that you've got these rookie solo laners in Keshi and Haru, and when you have rookie players like that you've kept on the roster, that you've clearly seen growth from. I mean, these guys were in Group Perseverance, which was a murderous group for them. They were the Team WE of Group Perseverance. But at the end of the split, they started playing better. You know, they got one game win. They didn't get a match win, but they started playing better. And you saw it in Group Nirvana, where they were able to hang tough with a lot of these guys who, you know, are solid players who have been around the block for a little bit. So I was particularly happy to see Thunder Talk go and get the job done. We'll take a look at the schedule. Tomorrow is the last day of the regular season here for Split 2. It's JDG versus IG, and then BLG versus AL. BLG versus AL means a little bit, because, you know, depending on what
who picks who they play.
Yeah,
right?
It depends on what JDG does, because AL is +5, JDG is +4, right? But I think the big deal is, will AL be able to return to form and be the team that we were like, ah, yes, they're so back, baby. Guwon gets our player of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if he got the series MVP. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to harken back. So in game 1, I said Assum was robbed on the Ezreal, and Guwon played an unmemorable performance in the jungle. I don't know who it was that they were playing. I feel like it was Vi. For Guwon, so that's fine. A lot of top lane pog shouts through this series as well.
Deserved.
Yeah, for Hoya, he's
makes us look smart.
Yeah, he did well in that last game, and Cube as well in the game before. I like that. But for player of the series, they give it to Cat. I think that's valid. Okay. I think the only gripe I have with this was the game where he actually won player of the game. Like, I didn't like the Azir, but his Cassio was really solid. His Rise was fine and serviceable, so I'm actually okay with this for player of the series.
Yeah, I am too. I think that the only reason why I would have actually given it to Guwon is because while Guwon, his other games were certainly not as good, you went 1-1 of those first 2 games. You probably should have 2-0'd. You didn't. Game 3 was all Guwon, and it was like leave no doubt in this game. It was the only game that we knew from wire to wire that it was likely going to be NIP, and that's the reason why I would have said giving it over to Guwon. Based on strict performance in all 3 games, it's definitely deserved for care. He had 3 very nice games today. Really could have been 3-0.
Yeah, that's. I remember this. This one came from the CB LOL, where you have a game like this, and this is a series where you would go. The streets are saying the NIP 3-0'd WE in
the streets are indeed
best
saying
of 3. So this was a good little fun experiment for NIP to see what they could and couldn't get away with. Turns out they couldn't get away with absolutely turbo running it down in the mid game, even up 8k gold. So that's the takeaway for them.
No doubt about it, Roodod. Woo, man, we had a hell of a marathon of a broadcast today here on the LPL English broadcast, and well, we're going to go across the finish line, but before we do, we got to shout out our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron, Soup, and Mung, because their pledged financial contributions help level up our broadcast and give back to the cast and crew. Strive to give you an English LPL product almost every single day. You saw it earlier on your screen, JDG, IG, BLG versus AL for tomorrow's games to finish off Split 2. JDG versus IG will be brought to you by, is this right? Roodod and Slayer. You're coming back to the back-to-back, my friend. And then PLG versus AL is going to be finished off by Quacks and Mazel. But that will do it here for us here on today's broadcast. For myself, for my co-caster, Roodod, for the casters who came before us, Bloxer and Gordo, for Ice behind the glass, and the entire LPL English family, we want to thank you all so much for being here with us today, and we hope to see you tomorrow for some